Okay, and we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Come Cook With Me. My name is Laura Hall, and we come live to you every Friday. We try to make it 4:30, but I've been doing some improvements on the show, so making sure that we post the recipe. So it took me a little bit of time to actually get it typed up and make sure that it was in the post. So you'll see that actually in the comments area where I say, welcome, come cook with me, that you are, ooh, you know what? Hold on one second. Okay, so, I can't see if anyone is on and can do some 2 thumbs up to say that I have it set for viewing. I didn't check to make sure that that was happening. Okay, you can't tell. Okay, if anybody's out there, go ahead and say hello, 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 hello. Okay, good. I am live. Thank you. So sorry. Thank you, whoever that was. I appreciate that. So thanks again. When I was typing up the recipe, I hit it so that it was just me only. And, you know, it never fails that something kind of makes me giggle and laugh at this. So anyway, we're always live Friday. Come cook with me. Today we're making one of my favorite all-time recipes, and it's actually one of my mother's. My mother's still here. She's over there. She doesn't want to say hello, but oh, I'm supposed to say hello to Pam. So Pam in her building, I guess there are quite a few people who are in her building that are watching the show on a regular basis. So thank you for tuning in, and I just so appreciate you. So anyway, this is one of my mom's favorite recipes as well. It's chicken and dumplings. Now, I'm not making it the old school way from when she grew up and her mother would put the chicken in the pot and get the bone broth. We're going to cut to the chase a little bit. We don't have to do it quite that way any longer. But I think that you're going to absolutely love it. This is one of my all-time favorites. And I've now adjusted it and made it one time with Sydney and her boyfriend when they were visiting during fall break. So you're going to get to see it in the Instapot as well. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's been cooking in the slow cooker right here. If I lift the top up, it's going to be really smoky. Hang on. I'll just show you. This has been cooking now for about 4 hours. It still has about, I'm going to say about 3 more hours, maybe 2 more hours to go. And it is so full, I'm afraid to really pick it up. I'm not going to pick that up. No, I think that might be a mistake. I'm going to put the cover back on. But I'll take a picture of it and post it in the comments so you'll be able to see it, which is fabulous. That'll work out perfectly. So, in the beginning of every show, one of the things that we love to do in our community is we love to say hello, state your name and where you're from, where you hail from. And when you do that, you get a chance to win our spices. And a teammate of ours, Dan Oliver, he makes these incredible spices. I use them all of the time when I'm cooking. I know a lot of you who've been hanging with the show for a while, you've been using them too. So if you do that and you post it in the comments, say hello, who you are, where you're from, you get a chance to win. So let's see who won the spices last week. Oh, and thank you all so much. I loved all the comments from me being gone, and I taped the show ahead of time because I was with Tony Robbins. I'm officially a fire walker. Yes, I am, and I can talk to you all about that another time. But spice winner, drum roll, Lori Dilworth, girl, I swear, you have got to be the luckiest girl ever. You win the spices. Woohoo! You get the DanO spices, and take a look. These DanO spices are phenomenal. And DanO, he usually posts a link to his website so you can order them directly. But if you're in Kentucky, they're in a lot of Kentucky stores, but that's about the only stores you can get them in. But they're phenomenal. DanO has put these together. Dan Oliver, he's put these together. They're low sodium, no sugar, gluten-free, no MSG, no GMO. We got to love that. Love putting these in our body. Congratulations, Lori. I'm going to put those aside. And yeah, I still have your address on file. Okay, so if you share this video on your Facebook, you also get a chance to win some of our seasonal products. I'm a health and nutrition coach. I cleanse coach and kind of really help people get back to a great healthy journey and living a healthy lifestyle. So the people who have won these because they shared the post on their personal wall, The first person who won the bars is Howard Johnson. Congratulations, Howard. You won our, oh, you can't even get these anymore. These are so incredible. They are s'mores bars. Love them, love them, love them. And then the 2 seasonal shakes, we have a pumpkin spice or a chocolate mint. And the person who won that, oh my gosh, Kelly Reynolds. You've been waiting for this for so long. Okay, Kelly, so send me which shake you want, and we'll go to town and get you covered. Okay, awesome. So let's get on with the show. First thing you're gonna wanna do, and again, the recipe that I've posted goes well on the stove. It's a really great recipe on the stove as well. So, but I'm going to do the slow cooker, the crock pot, and the Instant Pot. So we're gonna start with the Instant Pot because this has been cooking, and you see the recipe above. So let's go ahead, and what you wanna do is set your Instant Pot to saute. So I actually had done that, and then it started getting hot when I was trying to get the videos to get started. So you can choose, there you go, see it just beeps saying it's getting hot. So you can choose to use butter, you can choose to use an olive oil. It's a savory recipe, so if you want to save on the calories, use the olive oil. But I'm going to saute this chicken in this Instant Pot with butter because my mama's here. And she told me this story. So you want to do 2 tablespoons of butter for the saute. If you're using olive oil, you really don't even need that much olive oil. Just, you know, coat the bottom. So I'm going to let that melt in there. And grab my chicken. And I've kept it in the refrigerator. Now what I love about this recipe is a lot of times when I make it, I'll make it with rotisserie chicken. If you have a place that you can get some good rotisserie chickens, it's really yummy. It makes it really just that much more complexity in the savoriness of it. So yum. So this is starting to melt. I'm just going to stir that around a little bit. Love it, love it, love it. You know, and 2 tablespoons. I'm going to cut this in half because I don't want to have all of the extra calories. So we'll just cut that a little bit in half. We don't need to have all of it. So let me see. I'm going to put this in this cracker. There we go. Just save that for later. Yeah, thanks. We can save a little bit on those calories. So who's joining us? I see Kristen. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Jennifer. Love seeing you. I haven't heard from you to hear about how your cruise went, so I'm looking forward to hearing about that. All right, so that's starting to melt up, and so we're going to go ahead and dump the chicken in, and we're going to dump the spices in. So we're going to get this nice and sauteed. And I do like to saute and kind of pre-brown, get the meat browned up. So it's going to start getting really hot in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of the seasoning in that we call for it. Now, again, this is your choice. This garlic is an option. I think I even wrote option in the recipe, but I'm not sure. If I didn't, I'll go ahead and correct it. But I roasted the garlic in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and I just love the complexity of the roasted garlic just simmering into the meat. It's just yummy. So I'm going to go ahead and add those cloves in and start to stir. And it was so fun. My mom had said, she says, boy, you know, it was a couple hours ago. She's starting to smell really good in here. So, and excuse my raspy voice. I absolutely lost it, my voice, when I was at the Tony Robbins last week. So we're going to add some seasoning into this. So I go ahead and I'm not going to measure because you know me. I'm not the kind of measure, but if you need measures, it's actually in the recipe. And if you're like me, you like things a little bit more than what I actually put in the recipe, which is what I do. So I'm adding some sage. And I'm going to be adding cumin. And I see that I didn't put my... Mom, would you mind getting me this cumin that's over there on the back? I'm going to add some cumin. It says cumin. So remember your spices, everyone. You know, I really think it's important to invest in the non-GMO spices. See the label, the really clearly labeled. Organic is also really nice, but non-GMOs, thank you. And, you know, USDA organic it is just, so much better. Our bodies are laden with toxins, so the fewer toxins that you can put in, it's so much better for you. So, opt in with adding a little bit of, yeah, thank you. Oh, gotta take the top off. With going organic and no GMOs. Okay, I love how fast this Instapot gets. Just really hot. Keep stirring that. So I've got the sage and I've got some cumin in there. I'm going to be adding some thyme. Herbs of the Provence, that's what is going in next. I love these, and it's already made, so you can find these in most of the grocery stores. I love that about this. But you can just compromise and make your own, if you don't have the herbs of Provence. So there are rosemary, marjoram, thyme, savory, sage. So let's get some additional thyme and a couple of bay leaves. We're going to put a couple of bay leaves in. Oh, there we go. Okay. Here we go. A couple of bay leaves. Drop those puppies in. Awesome. And then you have a choice to use the, this one's a little bit more spicy with the DanOs. I'm going to use more of the savory one today. Oh gosh, this chicken is already smelling yummy. Yummy, yummy. So it took more time to prep all of the ingredients than it's going to be to actually cook this. So that's going to be great. But what I love about how the Instapot, I'll talk about how you're going to make the dumplings after we get the chicken started and we get the juices added. But it's amazing how hot you can get this when you're actually putting the dumplings in. So you really want to have it bubbling when you're doing it. And that's kind of the problem with the crock pot. It's not as hot, so sometimes I actually take some of this broth off and I'll put it onto the stove just to do that. But if you're out in a camper and you're cooking and that's the only device you have, it'll still cook. It just takes a little bit longer. And they don't fluff up as much when you're in the crock pot. Oh, smells so good. And I know I talked about making another recipe, trying to get the green bean casserole or trying the stuffing that I make in the Instapot. I'll probably follow up and do another show just with that, so you have it. But and I've not tried the stuffing in the Instapot, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think it will turn out just amazing. And the time, it will take no time at all. So I think it'll be good to have as an extra recipe. So this is browning. It's getting nice and brown. Okay, so we're going to let that brown just a smidgen. It's getting so close. It smells fantastic. So I went ahead, and I'll show you while that's finishing up browning. I went ahead and diced up an onion, so that's all ready to go. The onion is ready to go, and inside here are some organic, and they're all organic vegetables. So I've got organic celery and some carrots. So, I gave a rough estimate of what you're going to want to put in, but whatever vegetable is your favorite, put it in. That's the most important. All right, so I'm going to take this off the Saute. I can just keep until I turn it on. I'll just let it keep sauteing and add these vegetables. And we're going to add the broth. Just dump those in. Whoop! Carrot went flying. All right. So, I've got some butter beans back here. I love to add butter beans. You can use whatever vegetables you love. I love butter beans. It's one of my favorite things to add in. It's just incredibly yummy. And I'm going to put some butter peas in as well. I had some leftover from the last time. And because I had some leftover lima beans, I'm going to go ahead and use those. And yeah, they're about the same thing. These are baby ones, so they're a little smaller. Now, I also have corn, but corn is one of those things that when you're using the Instant Pot, you want to use it at the very end, or it just really kind of falls apart. So, we're going to add the broth. Let me show you. I did this when we did the Come Shop with me, and for those of you who are new to this show, I always do a Come Shop with me so you can get an active list of the ingredients in case you want to cook with me while we're doing the show. So one of the things I love, and I've made a mention of it, I'll actually repost it in the comments here, is why bone broth? Because you can use any chicken stock, you can use any kind of stock you want, use vegetable stock if you prefer. But there are very specific health reasons that I use the bone broth, so I love it. But I did find a couple of new ones because I kind of bought out, I'm starting to stock up on the things for the holiday cooking. And so I kind of bought them all out. But I did find a new one Swanson makes, and it's a free-range chicken organic bone broth. It has a little bit higher calorie content, not much, but I love it because it's non-GMO, it's gluten-free, no MSG, less sodium, 50% less sodium. Now, it has a little bit more sodium than the Imagine one that I actually use, because I found one with chicken, beef, and turkey. So I love them all. I actually have 3 canisters, and what you want to do is you want to have the contents completely covered in your broth. So I have 3 identified. I probably might have to use one additional or half of one. In the crock pot, I put actually 3 in. All right, so maybe just 2.5. We'll see. Just see how this third one goes. You don't want to get it too full, and if you're using one of the smaller ones, you'll use half the amount of vegetables that I just put in. Okay, I'm going to just save that for a little bit later. I'm going to take it off the saute now, and what we're going to do, let me stir it around, just get everything all nice and stirred. I'm going to add in just a few more spices because I like to have a lot of good savory seasoning in here. So I'm going to add, actually what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more cumin, and I'm going to add some more DanOs. Oh, that looks just so gorgeous. Let me just show you what it looks like right now. It might be, it's not too hot. Okay, beautiful. Take a look. Isn't that yummy? Just fabulous. Don't worry, I'm not going to spill it. My mom's over there. Okay, so I'm going to add some more DanOs. DanO, if you happen to be on and you want to say how to get these incredible spices, feel free to post that. Yummy. And a little more cumin. I just love cumin. Oh, the smell is heaven. Just heaven. So you're going to set it on manual, on high. You're going to pressure cook this on high for 8 minutes. You're going to set it for 8 minutes, and that's what we're going to do. So simple. I mean, this recipe is just incredibly easy. So easy. But I like the complexity of the chicken being, when I cubed this chicken, so when you do the rotisserie chicken, I just kind of just pull it apart and just throw the pieces in. So, okay, we're going to put this, make sure you have it locked. You have your steam locked. Hear that sound? Then you know it's ready to go. And then you have it locked in place. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to hit manual. And I need to take it down to 8 minutes and make sure it's on high pressure. Down one more. And then it'll just go ahead and get started. It'll just click and say it's getting ready to build up pressure. Now remember, it takes about 10 minutes to build up the pressure, and then it'll cook for the 8 minutes. And it's on, it's ready to go. Boom, ready to go. So now let's talk about the dumplings. While it's cooking, get this out of the way. I posted 2 types of dumplings. You can make traditional dumplings, and I have that as a gluten-free option. So I'm using, let me show you what I'm using. I'm using the gluten-free, I love the King Arthur flours. I mean, they're really some of the best. But this is the all-purpose baking mix, so there's a difference. And don't get confused if you're at the store and you bought you want to make sure you got the baking mix. It has a little bit fewer more ingredients that will help it rise and keep the the dumplings fluffy. So you're going to use this, and I've already got this already set aside. That over here. Some room. You're going to really, so I've got a, let's see, I doubled the recipe, so it's 2 3/4 cupfuls in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in my big bowl. And then I've got a full tablespoon, or 2 half teaspoons in here of baking powder. And I've got 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And it could be melted a little bit more. It's been sitting out for a little bit. Let me just stir it up, make sure it's melted enough. Oh, yeah, that could be, that's okay. It'll be all right. All right, so I'm going to fold that in. And we have 2 eggs. And I always put the eggs, I open them up into a separate dish so that you don't get any eggshell in there. It's always a good way to do that. Okay, and then you're going to want to have, now you can use I use a half and half, like a skim milk, but you can use whatever you love. I've got 2/3 cups of milk because I doubled that recipe. And then you're going to want to add in about a tablespoon of parsley, fresh parsley. And I'm going to go ahead and add in some DanO spices because I love to have savory dumplings. They're just so good. And you basically just stir this, mix it all together until it gets really pasty. And I'm going to show you the consistency because sometimes you have to add a little more liquid. Sometimes you have to, add some more dry if the liquid's too much. It's okay. Just remember that what you're after is you're after some fluffy pancakes, but you want the batter to be just doughy enough so that they'll cook. Oh, that's really looking yummy. I'd probably I'm going to add, before I dump these in, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And I'm going to use pink Himalayan salt and just regular black pepper. Boy, that is perfect. I'm going to show you this consistency in just a second. Just get all of that mixed up. So yummy. So let me show it to you via this way first. Isn't that just fabulous? Looks great. Okay, and so you want it to be kind of falling off. There you go. See how it kind of, watch how it'll be kind of doughy. Yeah, so it's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So this is the gluten-free recipe. I have that actually posted. Thank you for the love. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. And then some people love to use the big Bisquick. And I'm using both options. So just going to show you the 2 types I found in the store. They actually have, for those of you who love gluten-free, they have the Bisquick. So if you're a Bisquick kind of person who you love to have, you'd like to use this for your dumplings, this comes in gluten-free. So that's wonderful. So my husband doesn't like the gluten-free, so I have the regular as well. But you can use the Bisquick. So let me show you the recipe for this. And most of the times it's on the box, but it isn't. So I posted the recipe as well on the page. So we have this bowl, and I need to get another fork. And I doubled this one as well because the dumplings, you can't ever make enough dumplings. I'm just telling you. So there's 2. I doubled it. So this is 1 3/4 times 2 Bisquick, and then we're gonna get 2 2/3 cup of milk, skim milk. Again, you can use any kind of milk. I just like to do the skim. Now, what's curious about this one, and I think you're going to love it, it's a half a cup, but or a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm putting in half a cup because we're doubling it. Okay, and then we're going to put some parsley in. Awesome. And some DanOs, because we love to have them savory. Beautiful. Okay. again, same thing, you're stirring them. And yeah, I thought about it when I made the recipe, you know, with the King Arthur's. I just really followed King Arthur's website, how they did them. I mean, I added the DanO spices, right? And I don't know that they had parsley, added parsley in, but parsley is one of the things that I think bring out the flavor of a really good dumpling. Just adds just a little more complexity of flavor. Okay, this is very, very doughy. By the time I actually make these, I might actually put a little bit more water in, or not water, but milk. Okay, let me show you the consistency of how the Bisquick is a little bit different. So, but it's pretty good. I'm gonna have to say, I'm not gonna add any in until I get ready to plop those in. But literally, just look. So it's really, it's pretty thick. These end up being really thick. But you get to choose which one you want to use. Basically how you're going to form them, you're going to just take a regular spoon and you're just going to make a spoonful just like that. And when it's bubbling, when everything is done and bubbling, you're gonna turn off you'll quick release when everything is done after the 8 minutes. You'll do a quick release, then put it back on manual on high. And then you're gonna plop in all of your batter until it's all done, until it's all gone, or you completely fill the container, or until it's all gone. And what I like to do is when I take off the lid for the first time, I use a little bit of cornstarch, and I've already got this ready to go. I'll mix it with a fork because it's kind of settled. So I put about a quarter cup of bone broth and cornstarch. And right as soon as I take the lid off after it's done, I'm going to mix that in. And I'm going to have it on high, manual high, so it still keeps its bubbling. And that's when I'm going to plop in the dumplings. And that's really it. I mean, it's so simple. I'll take pictures as we go along, as it continues to go, but it's just a wonderful recipe. I hope those of you who are making it today are just gonna love it. Same thing I'll do the same thing with this. This needs to be bubbling hot, so the more bubble you have, plop those in. And then I actually have the clear lid for the Instant Pot for this size. If you have the clear lid, it's really nice because I cook half of the time with the dumplings. I put the lid on half the time, and half the time I have them off. And I will flip them once because I don't, nobody in my family likes to have them doughy on any side. So, but that's just up to you. That's really a tip for you. So, thanks so much everyone for joining. If you haven't commented who you are, where you're from, and you're just joining us, please make sure you do that in the comment section. Any questions? I'd love any questions, and please share this. Share the love with everyone. You can find all of my previous recipes on my YouTube channel once this is done. Once we get this all cleaned up and ready to go, we post it to my YouTube channel, which is called Lifestyle by Laura J. And just go on to YouTube and put in the search engine Lifestyle by Laura J, and you'll find all of the recipes that I've made. Again, thank you so much for joining me. If you're having having people for the holidays, I just hope that everyone gets to your home safely, and that you have a fabulous weekend. Love to you all. Have a great weekend.